And welcome, race fans, to a Sunday night. What better thing to do on a Sunday night than to bring you some of that excellent short track racing action from your short tracks from across the nation. Here on Nerd TV with Nerditudes, we are here in the studio for the Nerd TV pre-race show presented by none other than Martin Sports. Again, check out all their apparel line, martinsports906.com. We are here with the East Coast Tour Modifieds League for their inaugural season of the Martin Sports Sunday Night Modified Series. What better sponsor to have on there than on a short track with Martin Sports? Because I tell you what, their gloves are going to get put to use big time, and it's going to save these drivers. As always, Dustin Logston, also known as Ballistic, here, and we have a familiar face to the broadcasting scene, but somebody who loves that short track racing action. Somebody known none other than Stash, Mr. Kenny Haight. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing wonderful, man. I can't wait to see these cars, especially on a track like this. Paperclip, tighter corners, kind of like a bigger Martinsville, so racing ought to be nice and tight. Should be a lot of action tonight, and I can't wait to see it.
Absolutely, and especially in these wheel and modifieds as well. I mean, these things are zippy, scrappy cars, very low profile, wide wheelbase. These things corner and handle like crazy. They are designed specifically for these short tracks, so that is going to increase the racing action big time.
Absolutely, man. I actually got to turn some laps in these through practice, and they're going to be awesome. Little loose into the corners, especially on the quarter tires, but once they heat up, man, these things have grip for days, so I can't wait to see what they do. The tire wear should be, I don't know if it's going to take effect tonight being 72 laps, but man, these things are an absolute blast.
They are indeed. Definitely awesome feeling to have a league that comes out here that runs these wheeling modifieds, part of the touring modified pack. These are the bigger cars compared to the SK modifieds, which are the lower horsepower entry-level cars. So you are getting the full kit and caboodle from top to bottom with these drivers tonight. And we have a list of fast drivers right now. Got 16 drivers in there ready to take time for qualifying as practice is winding down. This will be a 10-race season for the inaugural season, but already high expectations, high speed, high-caliber drivers. Tonight's season opener race, the Martin Sports Apparel 72, presented by our race information, our race details, presented by Admin Box. Again, one of the sponsors for the East Coast Tour Modified League. Excellent product there, especially for admins that want to admin and race. It's custom made, has every button on there. It's an HID input. It's a plug and play. There's no programming required, but it will allow you to get everything in there. One button hit with a number pad built into it, so it is a great thing to have. But again, USA International Speedway, very fast track. Again, all these tracks are going to be fast, and it's nothing but short tracks from start to finish all the way through, Kenny.
Absolutely. Like I said, turning some practice laps in here. Looks like our fastest of the night was a 19.7, followed by a 19.8. So times are looking relatively close. All these guys seem to be about equal skill match. You know, it should be some really good wheel-to-wheel racing all the way around.
Yeah, and it's going to be, and these cars are designed for that. Again, these drivers have been practicing, doing a lot of open practices, a lot of open league practices and everything else. A lot of these drivers have ran with each other for a number of years, so expect some, I mean, I would say fender to fender, but as you can tell, these cars are an open-wheeled layout, so they do not have fenders, so expect a lot of wheel-to-wheel racing action. Probably expect some Nerf bar hits. You can see those Nerf bars on the sides. Probably going to get a little bit of beating and banging there a little bit, but that's just short track racing action, buddy. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
Oh, absolutely. And then coming from a dirt background like myself, we see it all the time. Even with our modifieds being open front end, closed rear end, whereas these cars are open all the way around. These Nerf bars, they do get used quite a bit. We always called them sticker savers, but it's really nice to have them so that way you're not getting tangled up, your front wheel locked into somebody else's rear wheel and catapulting you off into the sky. But these things are awesome. I enjoy these big time. Short track racing in general is just fantastic.
It definitely brings out a new breed of driver, rather than the ones that go on those big mile and a half, 2 mile plate racing, however you see it. It takes a different breed of animal, so to speak, to run these short tracks like this, whether it's the Whelen Modifieds, whether it's the SLMs. It is a different breed of driver. It's a completely different discipline. But you talked about sticker savers. I'm glad that you did. That is an excellent segue to talk about our sponsors and partners here. First and foremost, we had talked about it, Martin Sports. Again, they make excellent products. You can see both Stash and myself representing the Martin Sports. You are going to love these products. This jersey right here, it's like wearing air. It is so nice. Gloves and everything else. Both Stash and I have sets of gloves. We use them. I'm typically not a glove guy, but I tell you what, I do not race without them. Breathable, durable, dependable, and affordable. You can't go wrong, but they don't just stop there. They make hoodies, they make shirts, you name it. They have a full apparel line, and they make top-notch products, and it's a great group of individuals over there. So check them out, see what they have to offer. That's martinsports906.com. Be sure you use promo code SUPERNERD. It'll save you 25% off at checkout. We also want to give thanks to Stay Tuned Sports Podcast with Jimbo himself. Again, that is one of the sponsors for tonight's league. They also sponsor the Lucky Dog Award as well. Podcast that will cover sports from hockey, NFL, MLB. We'll even cover different types of combative sports as well. UFC, Bellator. So again, they cover a lot of sports, and they throw a little bit of comedy, a little bit of pizzazz and panache into it a little bit. So it's always a good show. So again, check them out. That is Stay Tuned Sports. We talked about Admin Box as well. I did touch base on it. They were the race information and the race detail sponsor that you had seen in the pre-race show here presented by Martin Sports. It's an excellent product for any admins out there that want to admin and race at the same time. Definitely cuts down the amount of time that you have to put things into it. So again, check out Admin Box as well. We also want to throw out and say thanks to Butt Kicker. Again, Butt Kicker, the audio partner for Nerditudes. It's an excellent D-style box on there. Excellent addition to any racing rig. Really give you that look and feel that you're looking for. So check them out. That's thebuttkicker.com. /AFF equals 35. Use promo code NERDTV to save you a little bit of that scratch. iRacing iFlag, that's the official flag partner of Nerditudes. It's an awesome race marshaling system that will allow you, the driver, to get good peripherals for flag, for positioning, and everything else. 64 LED layout. Couple that with a digital pit board as well, and you will have the full setup. So check out iRacingIFlag.com. Be sure you use promo code SUPERNERD, save you 15% at checkout. And with that one, buddy, we are gridding up, Kenny, so why don't you run us through our heat race number 1 starting grid?
Absolutely. So starting on the pole of heat number 1, we've got the 51 car of Racing Vernon. To his outside, car number 21. I actually just lost his name. Jason Cameron Jr., known as Admin tonight.
Oh, and we were going to give him all kinds of crap for that, too. That was a little bit of a flub up, so yeah, not going to let him live that one down.
Oh, absolutely not. Starting in row 2, we've got the number 16 car of Richard Malugani. To his outside, we've got the 88 of Joshua Clemens. Starting in the 5th position, the 07 of Ethan D. Scott. And rounding out the field looks like the owner, but I do not think he is gridding tonight.
Nope. So again, this is broken down in a heat main format, so we will be running heat races here. Very quick style heat races. Then there will be a 5-minute warm-up in between the heats and main. The top 5 starters for the main will be inverted before we take the 72 laps of racing action tonight. But Kenny, Mr. Stash, this is our time. You can see the cars are lurching forward. They're fired up. It's time to get these ugly mugs off the screen, and let's get it down trackside to what the fans really wanted to see tonight, which is this race in action. As always, our chat channels are open, so please shout out to us. We love to bring you guys into the broadcast as well, so always keep that open. But Stash, what are you expecting out of these races, buddy?
Well, I think out of the heat races, we're going to see a little bit of testing the waters, seeing what's going on, how others drive. You know, being an inaugural season, some of these guys might have raced with each other before, so they have an idea of how they're going to handle a car. But a lot of these guys, they've never seen each other on track, or at least that they're aware of. So they're not exactly sure how they're going to run versus this guy, how they may handle a situation like this. So I think we're going to see a lot of water testing and even a lot of boundary pushing just to really feel it out for the feature. And then once we hit feature time, I think we're going to start seeing some people really lay it out on the line, take that initial win for an inaugural season.
Absolutely. We are at 1 to go. East Coast Tour Modified shouts out, says, so stoked for tonight. Absolutely, as are we. Yes, Racing Vernon is on the pole, put down a blistering lap. Stay Tuned Sports says, what's up, everybody? Happy to be one of the sponsors, and we are damn happy to have you as one of the sponsors as well. So again, shout out to us. We love bringing you guys into it. These drivers are raring to go. Pace Truck will be dipping off, coming off of turn 4. This is your heat race number 1 for the inaugural event, the Martin Sports Apparel 72. Green flag is in the air. Green flag flies. These drivers are underway. Gonna dive it off into turn 1. Vernon takes an early lead. Rich Malagani on the inside. Jason Cameron on the outside there, as he is side by side now with Malagani going off into turn 3.
Coming out of 4, they're still side by side. Sitting in 4th place, we've got Ethan D. Scott, and right behind him, Joshua Clemens in that car number 88, looking to the outside, trying to make a move. And he gets a little loose coming out of the corner, a little high, so he's going to lose some ground on the 07 of Ethan Scott.
Yeah, drivers now starting to cycle out and go single file. Racing Vernon out to a big lead. The 21 of Jason Cameron Jr., solidly in second place. Both of those drivers on an island of their own, but the battle right now is for that 3rd spot as Malagani loses that 3rd spot to the 07 of Ethan Scott. Ethan Scott takes that 3rd spot over. Now Malagani under pressure from Josh Clemens. Clemens on the inside, diving it off into the corner. Does clear Malagani there. Malagani back to the 5th position.
These cars are an absolute trick to get to come out of the corner fast. They really like to break that rear end loose. And I know I said it was loose on entry under braking conditions, but these things, you have to be incredibly light on the throttle to get a nice take out of the corner. You know, especially during these heat races, they're going to be something to watch. I can't wait to see what a feature is going to bring these cars.
Absolutely, as we are going to go on board with Jason Cameron Jr. right now. You see him comfortably in that rig there as he's piloting that 21 machine in second place, in a comfortable second place position. So excellent shot there from the in-rig camera angle there, presented by Martin Sports. So again, it's going to be an excellent one. A little bit of shot of the inside. You can see simulated driver versus actual driver. I tell you what, Kenny, he looks very comfortable in that rig right now, driving a very clean race. Look forward to see what he can do come that A-main.
Oh, absolutely. Joe, he's a pretty solid driver. Watched him a couple times. I think in this feature, he's really going to shine. You know, already holding a nice second spot. He is losing ground. Racing Vernon, he is looking incredibly fast tonight. Like you said earlier, he set that blistering lap in qualifying, almost 0.2 of a second quicker than Jason. So I'm curious to see how Vernon handles the feature, and where some of these drivers are going to end up.
Yeah, now these heat races, for those of you that are not familiar with this heat main format, the heat races are shorter races. This one here, I do believe, was only about 10 laps, so they're going to be short stints. So you're not going to see long run setups here and the effects of a long green flag run or a long race run in this here. This is pretty much balls to the wall, smash the gas and haul some ass style all the way through, and Racing Vernon is not letting up one bit. He is stretching that out big time, Kenny.
These cars are, I can't help but keep talking about these cars. They're really fun, they're really tricky, and like you said earlier, they take a whole new breed to actually drive them to the level that these guys are. I managed to set down an okay time in practice, being the first time in the car, but to run the lap times that Jason and Vernon are laying down right now, it would take a lot of practice.
And a lot of practice these drivers have gotten. Heat race number 1, as you've seen, did come to a close. Racing Vernon did take that top spot. Jason Cameron Jr. in second and Rich Malagani in third. A couple of the drivers had to hit pit road to the service of their crew as well, but it is all right. They will be back for that A main event. They will just have a lot of work ahead of them coming up through the field as we are starting to grid for that heat race number 2. Go ahead and run us through that starting lineup.
On the pole for heat number 2, we've got car number 15, driver Jeffrey Clifton. To his outside, we've got Tyler Green in the 5 car. Sitting in third place, my partner in crime, 45 car of Joseph Mitchell. I'm really curious to see how he's going to do tonight and handles these cars. To his outside, we've got car number 68, Josh Lockwood. And rounding out the field, we've got car number 34 of Garrett Austin.
And again, that race lineup brought to you by Martin Sports, 906.com. So again, going to be starting heat race number 2. We are averaging about 5 to 6 drivers per heat. So these heats, as you can tell, ladies and gentlemen, they go very, very fast when it comes to this. But either way, it is going to be some good racing. And this is setting up for what is going to be, Kenny, an excellent A main event. Again, 72 laps of racing action here. We have already seen these drivers put down some crazy, crazy times. And it is only going to get better. You start throwing in there some long runs, strategy, and you're going to see a lot of that short track, Saturday night, Sunday night feel as the pace truck pulls in. Flagman's got the green flag in hand. Green flag flies. We are underway for heat race number 2 as they dive it off into turn number 1. Jeff Clifton in that 15 on the inside. Tyler Green on the outside. Going to get some pressure from Joseph Mitchell, though, as Mitchell is trying to put a nose on the inside there. Has that inside groove, but right now Tyler Green holding it strong on that second groove up. Very close coming out as they are side by side, both Mitchell and Green battling for that number 2 spot.
And Joe are already coming up to put pressure on Jeffrey Clifton, our lead car, coming out of 4, heading into 3 now. But he's going to get some more pressure back from Josh Lockwood.
Yes, so Lockwood and Austin are trying to make their way forward right now. A little bit loose there is the 45 of Mitchell. Mitchell is able to save it, though, but does lose that number 2 position. Excellent wheeling on that, but definitely costly on that aspect as he gives up the second place position to Tyler Green, who he had just battled for side by side there. Garrett Austin now sits in the 3rd spot, and Josh Lockwood in that 4th spot. But again, Lockwood may be coming under pressure here a little bit as we are moving forward. Mitchell still trying to gain some ground there Just don't know if he's going to have enough time with only 8 laps to go, Kenny.
Yeah, and I was doing a little bit of looking earlier. These heat races are going to be 12 laps. These cars just laying down some, even now, still laying down some time as the day progresses on, track heating up, tires warming up. These cars just incredible, super tricky, super fun though. Like you said earlier, it's nice and nimble. They corner on a dime, and as we saw, they will come back to bite you if you want to be a little over aggressive with it.
Yeah, as Joseph Mitchell found out early, but it's best to find that out in the heat race rather than the main. He will have plenty of time, being 72 laps, to try to make that up in the feature. Plenty of time to be able to do that. But yeah, you are absolutely right. I mean, these cars are very nimble. They got that low profile, that wide wheel stance. And on top of that, they've got those wide tires as well. These cars are designed for these short tracks. They are designed to go fast and hug corners big time. And I mean, in all honesty, you know, Kenny, I love the look of these cars. They have a mean look to them.
That they do. They have so much attitude. They were designed for one sole purpose of turning left as fast as humanly possible. If you think you can hold it, by all means, this car will let you at least try it.
Yes, it would. The 68 of Josh Lockwood got loose coming off the corner there, was able to save it, but does relinquish that 4th position to Joseph Mitchell. So Mark Mitchell up 1 position there, making up his spots a little bit, one by one, from his little slip up and mistake of getting loose. But again, that just shows you the the power that these cars do have, that it does not take much for them to break loose on that. Right now, Jeffrey Clifton clearly out in a very comfortable lead right now. No pressure all the way around. Tyler Green running in that 2nd position. Really no pressure at the moment. Garrett Austin trying to make a run for that 2nd position, Kenny.
Doing some watching on the track. I'm looking at corner entries, and it looks like Clifton has a little bit lower of an entry than some of the others coming into the corner, really diming it off, and it really looks like it's working for him. A lot of guys are coming in, entering a little late and apexing about mid-corner and then just slowly rolling out, whereas Clifton, he has a sooner entry, hitting apex sooner and riding that yellow line all the way out, and then not even floating all the way. Oh, this was the end of the heat race, so it looked a little different, but riding it all the way up to the wall and then down the backstretch.
Yes, so again, that was the end of heat race number 2, but we still have heat race racing action ready for you folks as they are starting to grid for heat race number 3. As we run through that lineup, go give us that lineup again, presented by martinsports906.com.
On the pole for heat race number 3, we've got Evan Gilbert in car number 60. To his outside, car number 12, Devin Medeiros. In 3rd place, we've got car number 31 of Jacob Torman. To his outside, number 27 of Aiden Hill. And rounding out the field tonight, number 61 of Andrew Major.
So again, line up for heat race number 3. Again, these just set up the starting order for your A main, the Martin Sports Apparel 72, with the exception that the top 5 starters will be inverted at the start of that A main race. So again, something else that just gives it that local short track Saturday, Sunday night feel. That they do that, and that's exactly what this league, the East Coast Tour Modifieds, that's what the league is exactly going for. It looks like it is going to be a fun one, and in all honesty, I cannot wait to see the rest of the season because they have some blistering awesome tracks in line for the 10-race season as we are getting ready to get this underway for heat race number 3. Pace truck is off. Green flag is in the flagman's hands. Green flag flies. We are underway for heat race number 3. Right now, a lot of pressure. Evan Gilbert's got a lot of pressure from Medeiros on the top side. Now Gilbert taking that. Medeiros now under pressure from the 31 of Torman as they are side by side. Torman then falls in line there, cutting it very close with the 27 of Aiden Hill. Loose is the 31 of Torman, is going to save that, but now under a lot of pressure from Aiden Hill on that outside as they are battling it side by side for that number 3 spot. Contact made. The 31 of Medeiros goes around, coming off that corner. Quick save on that, though, Fast and the Furious style, as he gets it going back again, but loses a lot of position, Kenny.
That was absolute intense. At one point, you could throw a blanket all over the top 4 cars, just battling it out. And as we see, the power of these cars, even though they have such a wide tire, that power, it is tricky to put down, like I was saying earlier, to really get a launch out. And again, we see it bite another driver.
Yeah, and I apologize on that. Was not Medeiros, though. As the race in action was going so hot, that was the 31 of Torman that went around, though, after contact with Aiden Hill. But again, Fast and the Furious style correction on that one there as he got it going back again. But it is the heat race. Plenty of time to make that up in the A main. These drivers will need to stay focused. Right now, the battle is up front as the 60 of Evan Gilbert has got all kinds of pressure right now from the 12 of Devin Medeiros. Got this one right this time. As the top 3 are almost nose to tail, as you see the 27 of Aiden Hill back there. So a lot of racing action going on. 12 getting super close right now to the back end of Gilbert. Trying to get that run, trying to work something out here. Good, close, hard racing, Kenny.
It looks like Medeiros knows that our leader, Evan Gilbert, is going to be running that inside line. So it looks like he's trying to pull a bob and weave across the backstretch just to tuck his nose under like he is right now to take the lead. Incredible move. He was looking outside earlier. He found where he needed to get inside the head of our former leader, Evan Gilbert, and get around him on the inside.
Absolutely, as right now we are on board with Aiden Hill. That was a textbook short track move by the 12 of Medeiros as he takes over the race lead. That puts Gilbert scored in P2 and Aiden Hill right now in P3, but Gilbert is not done yet with this as he is trying to fight back with 5 laps to go, 4 as we cross the line this time by. These drivers still going at it. Hard dive on the inside as we're watching from on board of Aiden Hill, but this battle up front between Medeiros and Gilbert is heating up.
Aiden Hill silently lurking in the background, waiting for a mistake between the 2 cars up front. And in heat races like this, you know, we're coming down to the closing laps. They're starting to push a little harder, trying to gain every advantage for starting in the feature. You know, one slip up and that could actually take 3rd place Aiden Hill straight to the lead.
Yeah, and right now they are battling for that 3rd place starting grid spot in the A main prior to the inversion, as the race winner of heat race 3 would start 3rd. So again, I mean, they're battling for that ever-important track position to try to put them closer to the front for that 72-lap main event. As we're coming up right now on 2 laps to go, you see the flagman waving that white flag. Little bit of a bad corner exit there by Evan Gilbert as he's really trying to push it here. Puts a little bit of space between him and Medeiros, our race leader. Medeiros out to a comfortable lead on that last lap. 2 more corners and he will take heat race win number 3. But right now, Gilbert getting all kinds of pressure from the 27 of Aiden Hill. Aiden Hill, one last-ditch effort, cannot get it done. There's your top 3, Medeiros, Gilbert, and Hill for heat race number 3, Kenny.
Absolutely wild, incredible driving among all drivers. This feature is going to be fantastic, and I cannot wait to see what happens.
Yes, again, that A main event is going to be a good one. But as it sits, that concludes our 3 heat races for tonight's event. They are going to go into a 5-minute warm-up before you are going to see 72 laps of racing action by these hot lappers here. They're going to go out and try to fine-tune those setups. And while they do that, we are going to bring you the Nerds side-by-side live coverage as we take a short commercial break.
to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. There's a reason that McConey Setup Shop is trusted by more virtual and real-world tracks and companies than any other setup shop in Irish. With partners such as Stafford Motor Speedway, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Five Flag Speedway, Speed 51, and more. When you want something done right, you go to the experts at McConey Setup Shop.
With setups available for most series on both asphalt and dirt, built by a team of professional builders consisting of some of the top talents on the service, McConey Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to McConeySetupShop.com and learn why McConey Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at McConey Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
And welcome back as we are rounding out our warm-up time here. Do want to do some shout-outs before we get to gridding here. Again, the Fat Caterpillar himself says, let's get it, baby. Loves it. Main event coming soon. We're about ready to witness that right now. The East Coast Tour Modifieds, the onboard rocks. We love that onboard. It's always a good show. Chandler Hayden as well. They got the bumper bars for a reason. Absolutely, and we completely expect those to be used tonight in this main event. Gonna be a good one all the way around. As you can see, the drivers are lining up. They are gridding for the A main, the feature event, the granddaddy of it all tonight, the Martin Sports Apparel 72. And with that, run us through that starting lineup if you would, Stash.
On the pole after inversion, we've got car number 16, Richard Malugani. To his outside, car number 60 of Evan Gilbert. Sitting in third place, we've got the 5 car of Tyler Green. Sitting in fourth place, we have the 21 car of Jason Cameron Jr. In fifth place, we have the 12 car of Devin Medeiros. In sixth place, we have the 15 car of Jeffrey Clifton. Sitting in seventh, the 51 car of Rayson Vernon. who put on an absolute killer heat race. So I'm curious to see how fast he comes up through the field and how everything plays out for him tonight. Starting to his outside, we've got the 34 car of Garrett Austin. In 9th place, we have the 27 car of Aiden Hill. 10th place, we have the 07 of Ethan D. Scott. In 11th, my partner in crime, number 45, Joseph Mitchell. In 12th place, we have the 31 of Jacob Torman. In 13th, we've got Joshua Clemens in the 88 car. In 14th, the 68 car of Josh Lockwood. And rounding out our field tonight, the 61 of Andrew Major.
Absolutely, and that's grid details and grid lineup presented by Martin Sports. Again, gonna be an excellent race. If the heat races were anything to show, it is gonna be a fun 72 laps, at least for us and at least for all you viewers out there. And again, we love you guys commenting, so keep it coming. We love bringing you on board and part of this broadcast. That's what makes it special. Pace truck is pulled off. Flagman has the green flag in hand. Green flag flies. We are underway for the Martin Sports Apparel 72 of 72 laps of race in action as they dive it off into turn number 1. Malagani off to an early lead. Side by side between Gilbert and Green, and it's 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 all the way back.
Already putting on just some absolute action right out of the gate. Still 2 by 2 in a lot of areas, looking all the way back through the field. Finally, a couple of cars are singling out, but we've still got some nice battles of the 27 car and the 15 of Jeffrey Clifton. But it looks like we're going to be pushing 3 wide, coming out of 4 for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Holy crap, all the way back to like 7th was 3 wide for a minute.
Absolutely, as we are on board right now, as we got an accident right in front of our onboard driver of Jason Cameron Jr. As the caution does fly, we went right on board with him just to kind of see what it felt like to be right in the middle of that hornet's nest. Our first caution is out for the night, and it was early on, but not to be, to no surprise, as the way that they were racing. Like I said, it was a hornet's nest back there, Kenny.
That was absolutely wild. I saw 3 wide in 3 different spots at 4 different points in time, just pushing the limits already in a 72-lap race. Short track racing at its finest. I love it.
Yeah, and it was a tough break, as it looks like it was the 60 of Evan Gilbert that was coming off. We're actually going to go on board roof cam with this here to take a look at exactly what happens coming off of the corner, coming off of turn 2. The 5 got into the wall, bounced down. Gilbert got it, collected a couple other ones as well. And you can see the carnage there from the aerial shots. Hard impact all the way around. So costly for a couple very fast drivers early on.
Absolute insanity. These cars are just fantastic. Sitting at lap 5 as the pace truck comes around yet again. I don't even know what to say yet. I'm still wound a little tight.
Yeah, and you want to talk about a crazy turn of events. You want to see how fast things can go from great to just a crap show without any control. On board right now, you see that. That was on board with the 31 of Torman. Had nowhere to go so fast as the 60 of Gilbert was coming up. Had no time to react, nowhere to go, and it was a hard impact all the way around.
On short tracks like this, sometimes there's just accidents you cannot avoid no matter how sharp your reflexes are. You know, bigger tracks, you at least have usually a little bit of time to see it coming. Other times you can just watch it unfold before it even happens, but on short tracks, by the time it's unfolding, chances are you're already caught up in it. Just incredible racing.
Absolutely. As the pace lights are out on the truck right now, being shown on that front row. is the 21 of Jason Cameron Jr. and the 51 of Racing Vernon. Those two there duked it out in their heat. They are lining up there. You have Devin Medeiros on the inside of the second row with the 16 of Rich Malagani to his outside. The 45 of Joseph Mitchell making up ground from his heat race as he's in that 5th position with the 15 of Jeff Clifton to his outside. Pace truck pulls off. We are getting ready for our first restart of tonight. Flagman's got the green flag in hand. Green flag flies. Back under racing action on lap 8.
And walking through the garage area, looks like we have 2 cars that have officially parked for the night. Evan Gilbert and Jacob Torman, both too much damage, and said, we're going to load her up and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, unfortunate turn of events on that. Obviously, the damage there was terminal. Had no control over that whatsoever. And I mean, that's part of the short track racing experience that you have here. There's not a whole lot that you can do right now as Medeiros coming under pressure from the 15 of Clifton. Clifton will take over that 3rd spot. Medeiros falls back to 4th, right in front of the 16 of Malagani.
Now we see these cars, they've single filed out. Now they're going to run some lines, try to search, see what's going to be good now, what's good for the feature. Stay close, stay within striking distance, but not. Looks like they're not going to be pushing too many issues as they have 60 laps tonight. So they're just going to bide their time now and get a better feel for the cars and some of the other drivers. And I expect to see some issue pushing a little later on down the race.
Yeah, as it's getting heated back there right around the 6th position. The 07 of Ethan Scott, the 45 of Joe Mitchell, and the 27 of Aiden Hill got a little bit uncomfortable coming out of that corner there, but all the drivers were able to gather it up and keep it going straight, and they're back to single file racing action. Right now, we've got 2 distinct packs. You're looking at the second pack right now being led by the 07 of Ethan Scott, coming under a lot of pressure from the 45 of Joe Mitchell. That front pack right now being led by none other than the 51 of Racing Vernon, out to a comfortable 3-car length advantage over the 21 of Jason Cameron Jr. Jeffrey Clifton in 3rd, and then you got Medeiros back there in the 4th, and Rich Malagani right now is starting to lose that lead pack there and is almost in an island amongst himself between the front 4 and the 6th place through 8th place.
These, watching the group of Joseph Mitchell and Ethan Scott, Aiden Hill, they're all patiently waiting as Joseph Mitchell takes the outside of Ethan Scott, trying to make the pass, and he's going to hold, but he's not going to complete it just yet. Aiden Hill firmly tucked up under the bumper of Ethan Scott, just waiting. He might actually complete the pass on Joseph Mitchell here through 3 and 4.
Yeah, Mitchell trying it on that outside. You see a little bit of wheel hop there from the 07 of Ethan Scott, as Mitchell still trying that high side, as they almost went 3 wide there. You see the 27 of Aiden Hill works on the inside and gets by the 45 of Mitchell. These 3 here duking it out almost like it's the last lap, but that's a great thing about these cars. They are so fast, they are so racy, and it breeds this kind of racing right here, Kenny.
These guys, they're all learning each other right now, and this is one of the best ways you can do it. Put them under a little bit of pressure, see how they handle it, see where you can make your moves down later on. If you get too close or, too close to the rear end or too close to their side, they might buckle a little bit, just as we see the 27 now shooting the outside of the 07. It could just cause that little bit of a mental game, and they might force themselves into a mistake, and you take a position from there.
Yeah, as these 3 here are duking it out, and again, like you said, they are learning each other. I mean, these drivers have got a lot back and forth. Weaving is the 07 and the 27. Contact made, 27 and 07. Oh, Joe Mitchell gets into the 27 there. Hard impact as they enter that corner, as we have our second caution of the evening here. and that is going to beat up some of these cars. That was a painful wreck as the 51 there of Vernon, Racing Vernon, makes a little contact with Aiden Hill as they were coming back. Hill trying to get that car turned back around. More contact made as these cars are trying to get everything cleaned up and get off of the racing surface. That collected the 68 and the 88 on that one as well. That's Lockwood and Clemens as they were coming around. So again, tough break for these drivers trying to get that track cleared up. But Kenny, that's one of the bad things about short tracks is it does not take much to completely just cloud and block this entire track. You don't have that much room.
No, you definitely don't. Like you said, just a couple cars is enough to block off, 90% of the track and not even leave a whole space for one car to fit through, let alone, the group of four that's coming behind them. It's congestion at its finest.
It really is, as we are going to go on board with the 45 of Joe Mitchell on this one here. As you are going to see the action unfold, it looks like there was a little bit of contact from the 45 of Mitchell, which sent the 27 of Aiden Hill into the 07, and that's what just spearheaded everything there as those three got together. So again, tough break. But as you said, these drivers are still learning each other. They're still learning each other's brake points, driving styles. There's going to be, a learning curve on it when it comes to this. And as we said, Kenny, it's short track racing. I mean, that's just how it works. I mean, you've got to expect there's going to be contact. There's going to be cautions because, again, that is short track racing.
And along with the contact and everything else also comes tempers. So, drivers can get, just that little bump that sends another car into the wall pretty hard, that could set somebody off. And then the racing aggression of short track comes out, and that's where short track gets its name from. Just short temper, short track. We'll see how they handle it tonight.
Yeah, short track, short tempers. Let's get our Martin Sports in-rig reporter, Jason Cameron Jr., who is currently sitting in second place right now, right behind our race leader. Let's see what he has to say about the race in action so far.
Well, I got to say, it's pretty tight up here at the front. Vernon's got some speed. I think Jeffrey's got some speed up here, but it's been pretty good. Quiet after we avoided that first wreck, but overall not bad up front.
Yeah, you look pretty comfortable there in your rig. It was a good job avoiding that wreck there. What can we expect from that 21 machine and the rest of this? Do you think you got something for that 51 of Vernon up there for the end of this race?
He's got a lot of speed. He's carrying a lot of speed through the center of the corner. I'm going to try my best to figure out kind of what he's doing and then maybe try to replicate that, try to gain some speed on him, all while trying to keep the 15 behind us here. So it'll be a challenge, but hopefully we'll be up to it towards the end of the race here.
All right, well, we're not going to take too much from you there. We're going to let you get back to it. So, again, thank you. That is our in-race reporter, Jason Cameron Jr., with that beautiful in-rig shot presented by Martin Sports.
I'm glad to hear from him, sitting up front and right next to that 51 car. I can't wait to see, what he's going to bring to the table, what he's really got. And like he said, he's going to try to replicate what the 51's doing and give him a run for his money later on.
That's all he can do. As green flag does fly, we are underway. Again, off into turn one. The 51 of Racing Vernon takes that early lead. Now you have Jeffrey Clifton on the inside taking away that second spot from the 21 of Jason Cameron Jr., our Martin Sports in-rig reporter. He will fall back to the third spot, but still plenty of laps to go in tonight's racing event as the top five are now nose to tail all the way back. We are working lap 27 of 60, soon to be 28. And I tell you what, these drivers here are not holding anything back, but they're going to have to really pull out all the stops if they're going to want to chase down that 51, Kenny.
Yeah, that 51, Richard Maligani goes around. It looks like contact from the number 12 car of Devin Medeiros right along the front stretch across the start-finish line.
Yeah, it almost looked like there was a little bit of latency issue there. Is on the feed. It looked like the 12 of Medeiros blinked out there. As you see smoke pouring from that 12 machine right now. So a lot of damage on that 12 machine. We're going to go back and take a look and see if we can't see what happened there, as we are going to follow the 16 of Richard the Fat Caterpillar Malagani, fresh off of a league race win last Thursday at Indianapolis, trying his hand at these short track cars and these Whelen Modifieds as well. And that's exactly what it looks like as we go back and look at that replay now. It does look like the 12 might have had a little bit of latency as he was coming through that corner, blinks out, disappears, and it looks like Malagani just spins on his own. But what you actually seen there, folks, was there was still that connection and that latency to where contact was made. Doesn't look like it was that heavy a contact from on the 16 side of Malagani, but the 12 right now of Medeiros definitely has a lot of damage to that 12 machine, Kenny.
Yeah, absolutely. And, with short track racing and the contact, congestion, we've seen just how fast 15 cars turns into, I believe, 6 on a track, as Garrett Austin, Andrew Major, and Devin Medeiros all with terminal damage packing up the cars and heading home.
Yeah, and again, that is short track racing, though. I mean, it's to expect. It's nothing different than if you watch the NASCAR trucks, the Xfinity, or even the Cup guys at Bristol or Martinsville. I mean, this is what is to be expected when it comes to short track racing, and especially when they're cars that are specifically designed for these short tracks like this. They're fast. These are spunky cars. I mean, just through and through, they are spunky cars. And they zip big time. Do want to shout out again, iRacing iFlag, great broadcast, guys. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Thank you very much for your partnership with Nerditudes. Martin Sports 906. Hey, we love it. Of course it is, because nerds rule. From one nerd to another. We love it. Thank you very much. And Rich Malagani's fan base out there, Jen, finally coming back and making a return, says, let's go, babe. Blush face, thumbs up, and sunglass face. So good to see her back on there again. Thank you guys for commenting out. So I love it. Keep it going. But yeah, this race in action is heating up, and it's nothing less than what we had expected, Kenny. Not the least.
And while we're at it, Ethan D. Scott has also loaded up his car and is also on his way home. So that leaves us with, if I'm counting right, 6 cars on track.
Yeah.
Short racing, it takes its toll on these cars, and from what I'm learning, these cars do not take much abuse to ruin them.
No, and they do not. Which, I mean, it's, yeah, they do have those hefty Nerf bars and everything on the sides, but one thing you got to remember is these things are open fenders. They do not have any fenders on them whatsoever, so when it comes to suspension or anything else, and there's not a lot protecting that motor either, as you've seen the 12 of Medeiros found out after that contact with the 16 of Malagani. It does not take much to have to park these things and send them back to the garage, and it's an unfortunate thing. But again, this is race 1 of the inaugural season. We still got 9 more races before we crown ourselves a Martin Sports Sunday Night Modified Series champion here in just 9 more weeks after tonight. Pace truck is in. We are ready for our iRacing iFlag official restart. Green flag flies. They are swapping lanes already as the 51 of Racing Vernon takes that lead. The 15 of Jeff Clifton falls in second, but under a lot of pressure right now from the 21 of Jason Cameron Jr. as he's getting a lot of pressure going off into turn 3.
It looks like Jason's really starting to figure this car out as it comes through the corner. He's staying nice and tucked up under Jeff Clifton. Now it's just down to getting those restarts down to a science, trying to keep up with his 51 cars. He is just on it tonight, commanding in qualifying, dominated his heat race, and he worked his way up from, I believe, 7th to the lead now, and working on stretching out that lead. He's super fast tonight, and just incredible. I like it.
Yeah, as we are seeing, though, that 2-pack distinction right now. You got the 51 of Racing Vernon, the 15 of Jeff Clifton, and the 21 of Jason Cameron Jr. in that first pack. That second pack right now being led by the 5 of Tyler Green, the 16 of Malagani, and the 68 of Josh Lockwood. Those 3 drivers duking it out as well. So we do want to, again, shout out. Thank you, Stay Tuned Sports. Loving the broadcast. Thank you. We love the podcast as well. One love to another. Loves the racing. Says, awesome job, so fat. I love it. Nothing wrong with being fat. Oh, wait, correction. He says far. Asterisk. That's my bad. I should probably read a little bit. It's all right. But again, good racing action all the way around. Exactly what we'd expect for some short track racing. Is the 15 right now of Clifton is still under a lot of pressure from the 21 of Cameron Jr. here. Contact by both drivers coming off the corner there, so you can tell that they are definitely pushing it hard, trying to get as much out of those cars as possible.
Yeah, and to keep up with the 51 of Racing Vernon, I mean, you really don't have much of a choice. He's super fast, trying to figure out what he's doing. I'll give these guys credit. They're not just letting him run away with it. They're battling hard, and they're still maintaining a pace that keeps him within striking distance in case he messes up in a corner. But man, is he fast. It's going to take a lot of work to bring down that deficit.
It is, and with only 20 laps to go right now. But just as our Martin Sports and Race reporter, Jason Cameron Jr. had talked about, you can see that those 2 cars behind him do close in on corner entry, but where Racing Vernon is getting him is on that center off. He is so strong on the center off that that's what those drivers are back there trying to figure out. They got him on entry. They have to get that full package if they want to get up there and challenge that 51 for that top spot.
Absolutely. And, you know, the 21 car's hanging real tight. I actually just lost his car. He's hanging real tight with the 15 of Jeff Clifton. You know, these guys they're battling hard, and again, still learning each other, figuring out driving styles and weak points on how to take advantage of it. As we've got a car coming out of the pits, Joshua Clemens in the 88 car slowly making his way back out on track. Looks like he'll come out right behind I believe that was the 5 car of Tyler Green to start laying down some more laps.
Yeah, and the thing is a lot of the folks out there may be asking themselves, well, why come back out with a damaged car? Because positions mean everything. The more positions you can gain is the more points that you can gain, means that if you do have a damaged car, it's the less points you lose for that event. Their big picture thinking here is exactly what they're doing. They're trying to make as many points up as what they possibly can, so that way maybe they don't lose that championship at the end of the season by 2 points because they didn't stay out. So you see, that's why Clemens is out there running as well. Trying to get as much as what he possibly can out of that. But again, still running clean laps, but he's not going to pressure those leaders at all. That's why he's sitting right back there behind the 68 of Lockwood, sitting in 6th spot. But these drivers, I mean, they're pounding these laps down. Kenny, we only got 14 laps to go in this event, and that racing for that 2nd spot is heating up big time as they are still trying to race themselves and chase down our race leader, Racing Vernon.
Looks like the 15 car of Jeff Clifton is slowly... It's hard to say because he's slowly gaining a little bit of a gap, but Jason's slowly bringing him back in at the same time, so it's a little bit of give and take. You know, one makes it up on entry, the other one makes it back out on exit. Just, you know, still... I don't even know, man. These guys put on a hell of a show already, and like you said, we're coming around for 11 to go. Laps winding down quick. I just can't wait to see how everything racks up from here. You know, one late race caution could shake up everything about this race and how it's went down thus far.
Absolutely. As again, you do see that 51 of Racing Vernon still out in that front spot. He has held it since he was able to take it over after starting 7th after that field inversion for the start of the A main here, the feature event of the Martin Sports Apparel 72. Drivers still trying to figure each other out as it goes in, but there is a little bit of space as that 15 of Clifton is starting to pull away a little bit from the 21. But as you said, the 21 seems to pull him back in on corner exit. But again, that's why these types of cars are a driver's car. It's you have to love them, you have to have the feel for them, and you can race them in different areas. This is an open setup league as well, so these drivers are definitely putting a lot of pressure down. There's a little bit of a bobble there by the 15 of Clifton, the 21 of Jason Cameron Jr. trying to capitalize on that. Just not able to do that as they were side by side through the corner, but that closes the 21 right back up to the back bumper of the 15 of Clifton. So this racing here getting hard and heavy between these two here, and that's what 50% of this racing is, Kenny, is not only your skill and ability to drive the car, but because it does not take that much, just a little slip up and you lose so much momentum and so much time, the other 50% is all mental, and it doesn't take that much.
It really doesn't. It takes a lot of mental focus to keep these cars on a consistent pace, to keep whoever else behind you, whoever else in front of you within striking distance, watching entry speed, exit speed, tire wear, which, coming from the dirt background that I do, we don't have to worry about tire wear. These guys are doing that, as, at least as far as I know, with this style of racing, these guys might not put enough wear on the tires to really affect it, but, it could. And that's just another thing that they could have on their mind at this point in time. As the 21 we saw come right back up on the bumper of the 15 of Jeff Clifton, but with that bobble, it also extended the lead of Vernon out. So, there's a whole lot going on all at one time.
Hard impact is the 21 there of Jason Cameron Jr. as he tries to Truex that corner, pops it back down, trying to get everything that he could out of it as he was right on the back bumper of the 15 at Clifton. But yes, that lead that Racing Vernon has is up to a second over the 15 at Clifton. And yes, on board screen, this is exactly what we said we were going to do. We were going to give Jason Cameron Jr. a little bit of a hard time here for not having his name fixed, so we had to throw the driver details up there saying admin on it. Yeah, just to poke at him a little bit, because, hey, we're nerds with attitude, and that's what we do. But that's exactly what we were talking about, was that, that mental capacity. I mean, it's not that many laps, but, I mean, you sit here and try to push it as much as possible. As you see, the white flag is out. We are on the final lap right now of tonight's racing event. 51 of Racing Vernon out to a comfortable lead. 2 more corners, and he will take the inaugural win of the Martin Sports Sunday Night Modified Series. Coming off of turn number 4 is the 51 of Racing Vernon, taking first. Clifton second. Cameron Jr. in third. Rich Malagani in fourth. Tyler Green will cross the line in fifth, with Josh Lockwood in that 68 crossing the line in sixth.
And as we was talking about earlier, coming back out on track with even a damaged car, the 88 of Josh Clemens was able to pick up one more spot over the 12 car of Devin Medeiros, who, as we saw earlier, he packed up and left. Josh Clemens put in just those couple more laps, gained that extra spot, and depending on their point system, that could have thrown him up quite a few points over that 12 car of Medeiros.
Absolutely, and that's why these drivers have that driver mentality. They do not stop at anything. They always big picture race, and of course, they're always wanting to get that number one goal, which is that race win, because, I mean, let's be frank, they're racers. They got that racer mentality. They want to win. Every racer does. But that's what separates racers from champions, is they also have that racer mentality, but they keep that mindset, that big picture thinking with points in the back of their mind as well. So again, as you are seeing the beautiful drone shots here, that 51 of Racing Vernon taking the inaugural win here for the Martin Sports Apparel 72 here at the USA International Speedway for the Martin Sports Sunday Night Modified Series. So excellent race all the way around, as that is going to take us to our post-race podium show, folks. Don't go anywhere, because you are going to hear from our top 3 finishers in reverse order, starting with the 21 of Jason Cameron Jr., and we're going to do a little bit of a different one on that, as he is our in-race reporter. We are going to show him in the rig as we interview him.
Oh, what's going on, guys?
How is
Oh.
it going? What a race did you have there? Tell us a little bit about those last number of laps there. The racing seemed pretty hard and heavy between you and the 15 at Clifton, man. You guys were all over each other.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a battle there. We were trying so hard to maintain track position in the middle of that race there. We didn't want to lose it. I knew when I lost it to him on that restart that it was going to be tough to get back because he was, staying pretty consistent with us. It's just hard to set up a pass, man. I mean, you got to set it up right, and I thought I had it a couple times, but unfortunately, got the best of us on that one.
Yeah, but that is short track racing at its best, and you know more than I. That's exactly how it is. But overall, what is your expectations right now? The first inaugural race is in the books. We got 9 more races left in the season. You had a fantastic podium finish in the first run out. What is your mindset going into the next 9?
The mindset's just to stay consistent. I mean, consistency is key, right? Winning races is good, but you can win a couple races and have a couple bad ones and it'd be bad for you in the points. So I think if we can stay consistent, run the top 5, top 3 every week, we'll definitely be a force to be reckoned with. More racing around these guys, you kind of figure out, who does what and where, and that'll definitely help knowing better who you're racing against. And obviously watch a lot of video from this one to see what we can do better.
Absolutely.
Consistency is key, is right. And as we saw, you started 4th, you worked your way up to 2nd, and ultimately ended up with a 3rd place finish. Man, it was a hell of a race. What do you think you could have done different with your car?
I think it was definitely just rolling the center a little bit better. Like entry center, I think was where I struggled a little bit. And, just trying to maintain that track position. That quick caution after we lost that spot didn't do us any favors. And I mean, I was kind of surprised by how the outside handled today. I mean, it was the outside, you could hold people up. You could definitely hold people down and keep them from passing you. So that was kind of a surprise. But definitely probably the entry to middle, rolling that center exit, that center of the corner just to get that speed on the exit.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, we've got some chats going on from AEM on YouTube. Says, hey, I know that guy. So I got to ask, are you a huge Kyle Busch fan?
Yeah, I'm a huge Kyle Busch fan. I know exactly who that is. He knows how to get on my nerves. So that's my spotter.
And that's why we bring him in. That's why it's always fun to bring in the chat into the broadcast. It's a unique feel that we have here. But you know what? You ran an excellent race. You did a fantastic job out there. It's first race of the season. You got a podium. The hard parts in the books now, like you said, is just staying consistent and trying to be there, big picture racing for the championship. So this is your moment. It's your time. We know you got people out there you want to shout out to, some sponsors you want to holler at.
Yeah, I just want to, I put my grandfather's trucking company on the car. He's the guy that got me into racing in general, and then sim racing actually. So I got Cameron Trucking on there. I got JN Services. He's a good guy. He runs a local business in my town. J Corp also runs a local business in my town. Shout out to those two guys. I really appreciate them being on the car. And just a shout out to everybody that supports me. Whether it be on real life or on sim racing, you got people that support you. So thanks to everybody that supports my racing, and we'll catch them the next time, I guess.
There you go. We appreciate that. We'll let you get back, let you calm down after that race in action. We know how that adrenaline builds up. So again, congratulations on your 3rd place finish.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
That is your 3rd place finisher. Driver of that 21. Had a little bit of a camera hiccup there, but at least it was in the post race and wasn't during the actual in-car aspect of it for our Martin Sports in-rig reporter. That is Jason Cameron Jr., so that was excellent. We are going to bring up and talk to our 2nd place finisher, who was battling it out hard and heavy with that 21 of Cameron Jr., and I'm talking about none other than the driver of the 15, Jeffrey Clifton.
How you doing?
I am doing excellent. I can ask you the same thing. How are you doing? That was some hellacious racing that you guys had going on there.
Yeah, it was a task holding off Jason there. He tried to get in there a couple times, and I don't know if I was being a little too dirty about it. I cut him off, but I mean, at this track, you got to have that inside line. If you're on the outside, you can't do much with it. So, I did whatever I could to keep him behind me. I knew I had nothing for Vernon, so I had to come home with a second. I'm pretty happy with that, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it dirty. More so is that's short track racing there, buddy. That's exactly how it is. You got to do what you got to do to finish there. It was hard racing. I tell you what, it was beautiful on the camera too. So you guys did an excellent job. But now that first race, you got your podium in that first race. Now the inaugural race, you got 9 more races left for the season. I know a lot of you guys, you have that racer mentality. You want to go for that win, but I know a lot of you guys are big picture racing now. So what do you think is going to be the key to try to put that 15 car in contention for a championship at the end of the season, aside from beating the 51 of Racing Vernon?
Just finishing races. That's really all you can do. That's like the best. That's a good starting point, I should say. Finish a race and then worry about the other stuff.
I couldn't agree with that one more. Consistency, like we heard from Jason, consistency is key. And like you just said, as long as you can finish a race, it at least puts points on the board.
That it does. It puts races on the board. So the question's got to ask, I know you said that you didn't have anything for that 51 of Racing Vernon. So that big question is, what are you guys going to do in the coming weeks now to try to chase down that 51? Because he had a rocket tonight. Do you guys have any plans in the making? Any tricks that you think you might need to pull out of the old bag there to try to get that 15 car into victory lane this season?
I think if I can get him behind me early, I could probably hold him off. And that's probably about all we can hope for. Maybe some misfortune comes his way or something.
Absolutely, because it's short track racing with this, and that's exactly what we had talked about. 50% is the skill, setup, and the ability to run it. The other 50% is all mental, and we're only human. we can only be spot on so long. So that's exactly right. I tell you what, though, you ran a hell of a race. You did a fantastic job out there. You raced hard for that second position, especially between you and the 21 of Jason as well. So. You guys put on a hell of a show, but I tell you what, this is your time. This is your podium moment. I know you got some sponsors out there you want to holler at, and you got some supporters and people you want to shout out to. Floor is yours.
Elite Performance Industries, they are a setup shop. They're pretty big, so I'm sure some people who are watching probably know who they are, but I run another league, and they did all my setups for me, and they were perfect every single time. So I really can't thank those guys enough. I have that on my car. And, just guys in the league for putting it together, and you guys for broadcasting it, because if you didn't broadcast it, there'd be nobody to watch us.
Hey, and you know what? If there was no league and no drivers out there putting on one hell of a show like you guys did, there'd be nothing for us to broadcast. So, see, networking, it's a wonderful thing. I tell you what, man, you did a fantastic job. Well-deserved second place finish. Look forward to see what that 15 car and that 15 team can't do for the last 9 races of this season. So again, congratulations.
Thanks.
And that is your second place finisher, driver of that 15, Jeffrey Clifton. That leaves one driver only, and it happens to be the driver that finished in that P1 position. I'm talking about none other than the driver of that 51, Mr. Racing Vernon.
Never heard of her.
Never heard of her, indeed. I tell you what, man, you had a rocket out of the gate, dominated your heat race. You were putting down some blistering times. Started with the pole, your heat race. Took the hard hit of that inversion going into the feature event there, but were able to make your way back up. How was the car out there tonight?
After that first wreck, it was like really fast, and then there was a caution, and I ran into someone under caution. Thought my race was going to be tough, so car got tight really, really bad after that damage. So the whole car was really good up to that point.
Yeah, again, that's it. We were watching that, and that's the unfortunate thing about short track racing. You know how that goes. It doesn't take much to really clog up a short track before there's no place and no room to go, even if people are trying to get out of the way. But either way, even with a tight race car, you drove a hell of a race on that. So my next question is, with that, this being the inaugural race here for the East Coast Tour Modifieds for the Martin Sports Sunday Night Modified Series, how was the racing out there overall as far as the racing action? You working your way up from your 7th place starting spot. How was it overall in your opinion?
I mean, everybody had respect for each other. That's what was surprising. You know, it's super clean throughout the whole start of the race. Starting mid-pack is pretty scary sometimes, and it was pretty clean going all the way up through.
Excellent.
I was definitely impressed to see, the amount of space, even though it was tight racing, the space and the respect that was given. You don't see that on too many short tracks, and it was actually really nice to see it from this group of guys tonight. Taking the win out of the first race of the season, what can we expect from the races forward throughout the rest of the season?
I mean, all you got to do is go for it at this point. I mean, take chances, not, too much of a chance, but can't win them all. You got to be good every night. You never know if you're going to have a bad one or you're going to be quick in one night and you could be last the next night. You never know.
Absolutely.
Especially when it comes to those short tracks, anything could happen. It almost happened tonight with the accident that clogged the track up, but you were able to power back from it. So again, you had that rocket ship right out of the trailer all the way through, worked your way up, overcome a little adversity there with the tight race car after that slight damage that you got, but you put it right where it needed to be, and that was in that P1 and in victory lane there with some wicked looking burnouts too. So excellent job on that. But this is your moment, buddy. It's your time to shine. You definitely earned it with that victory tonight. You got some sponsors you'd like to shout out to, some people you'd like to holler out to. Podium is yours.
Just all the guys that support the league and all the sponsors that support the league, and you guys. We, like Jeff said, we wouldn't have a bird's eye view of it if it wasn't for you guys. So kudos to you guys.
And we appreciate that, but the kudos goes to you guys. Like I said, it's you guys are the ones that put the show on. You guys make it look special. We just happen to stream it out to the masses. So you guys do a fantastic job. The racing was awesome. I can speak for myself. I can't speak for their Stash, but I have a feeling I already know what his answer is going to be. I'm looking forward to what to see and what we're going to see coming for the rest of the 9 races this season.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with that one 100%. I think it's going to be a fantastic season. I can't wait to see what unfolds.
But with that, Mr. Vernon, I am going to congratulate you again on behalf of Nerditudes and everybody involved here. Congratulations on your first season win here in the Martin Sports Sunday Night Modified Series. But we are going to let you go and relax and celebrate with your team, buddy. Again, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Have a good night.
You as well. That is your Martin Sports Apparel 72 feature winner for tonight, the inaugural race for the Martin Sports Sunday Night Modified Series, Mr. Racing Vernon. So again, fantastic all the way around. The racing was exactly what we expected, hard and heavy. And with that, I know we have stated it a number of times before, but we want to thank our sponsors, Martin Sports being the first and foremost. It is the title sponsor for the series, as well as the title sponsor for tonight's race. You will also see Martin Sports as the title sponsor for the season finale race as well. That is going to be a fun one as well as all the other races. But again, check out what they have. Excellent apparel all the way around. You see the hats, you see the gloves. I got the gloves here somewhere because they're always right next to me. Fantastic stuff, and I guarantee you, drivers that were out there tonight definitely want to have some of these on their hands if they don't already do right now, especially running these short tracks. Breathable, durable, and dependable. But again, they sell more than just sim racing stuff. They sell hoodies, they sell shirts, you name it. They do a fantastic job. Check out their apparel line at martinsports906.com. Use promo code SUPERNERD, save you a little bit of that scratch on your checkout. Again, it is well worth it. The nerds fully support every product that comes out of that camp over there. We also want to thank Admin Box as well. Again, this is for those admin/drivers that don't want to miss out on their league races. They want to be a part of it, but they know that they need to admin it as well. Check out Admin Box. Excellent little button box style. already pre-set up and keyed up with all the commands that are there, as well as a number pad, so you can hit a command, type in a car number, hit enter. It will automatically transition that into iRacing. It's an HID component, plug and play, so no programming required, which is good if you don't happen to be a nerd. Super simple, super good, high quality product. Check out Admin Box as well. We also want to thank Butt Kicker. Again, Butt Kicker is the official audio provider of Nerditudes. Again, excellent addition to any sim racing rig that you have. Will definitely give you that feel that you happen to be missing for those gearheads out there, especially on these short tracks. You'll feel every hump, bump, rumble. Perfect for those road racers as well. So again, check them out, see what they have to offer. Use the link, thebuttkicker.com/AFF equals 35. It's right there on your screen. Be sure you use promo code NERDTV to save you a little bit of cash on your checkout as well. We also want to thank Stay Tuned Sports Podcast. We want to thank them for shouting out as well. Much appreciated. So again, they love the broadcast. We love their podcast as well. You want to find out information about upcoming or previous sporting events and games, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, whether it's MLB, it doesn't matter. If your take is fighting, they also talk about UFC, Bellator, and bare knuckle boxing as well. So again, check them out. It's not just sports talk either. They also have fun doing it. Throw in a little bit of comedy, much like the nerds do for our broadcast, probably why we love each other's production values at the end. But again, you will not be disappointed. Excellent excellent group there. Again, thank you very much. That is Stay Tuned Sports. We also want to give a shout out to iRacing iFlag. Again, you've seen iRacing iFlag pop up. They are Nerditude's official flag partner of every broadcast that we do. You see their graphic pop up for every caution flag and every green flag to include restarts. Again, every racer needs this, much like the Butt Kicker, to add to your sim racing rig. It is an awesome race marshaling system. Again, 64 LED emitting display that you have there that will show you every flag status, as well as extra statuses on there to help you out. Pair that with their digital pit board, will give you up-to-date live statistics on fuel usage and everything else. It's an excellent product. Check out what they have to offer. That's iRacingIFlag.com. Be sure you use promo code SUPERNERD to save you a little bit there at the checkout as well, because the nerds, much like our partners, we want to make sure that the iRacing community and everybody out there is taken care of. That's what makes this network so great. So again, we want to thank sponsors as well. We also want to thank Makoni Setup Shop, the official setup partner of Nerditudes. So again, check out what they have. You can purchase setups individually. They do have subscription plans as well. Take a look at what they have to offer on that. That is MakoniSetupShop.com. So again, their setups, your victories. And with that, Stash, I tell you what, man, it's exactly what we expected. Short track racing at its finest. We had awesome interaction from the crew out there, shouting out, talking back and forth. We loved bringing them in, buddy. I can't wait for the rest of the season. What about you?
Man, I think it's going to be a fantastic season. You know, watching the drivers, like I said earlier, you know, give the room and the respect, but still keep it nice and tight and action-packed. These guys, they've got a lot of respect for each other, and I think they're going to race super hard, but I expect it to stay clean and put on one hell of a show all season long.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, before we sit here and tie it up, I do have a couple other shout outs here because I don't want to forget anybody, just like I know Stash doesn't either. East Coast Modified Tour said, love the race. Awesome job. We can't agree more. It was a fantastic race. We can't wait for the following weeks. It's going to be some good shit. Definitely. And Paul Sunday on Facebook replying to Jen, again, you are awesome. So there you go. Last couple shout outs there, bringing them in. On behalf of Nerditudes, myself, Dustin Ballistic Logston, on behalf of the man only known as Stash. We like to thank you guys for tuning in. We like to thank everybody that was out there, everybody that shouted out. Keep it going. Like, share, follow. Let us know what we're doing. Let us know what you like to see. If you like more on board stuff, then you guys let us know. The nerds love to deliver. So again, thank you guys for everything you do. Thank you so much to all of our partners, sponsors, and promoters, again, of the league and of Nerditudes. Take care out there. Stay safe. And we're going to catch you guys at the next track.